So this is Elias Pettersson. If that's somehow not ringing any bells, then you're probably not even a hockey fan, so I don't know what you're doing here, but get out of here. Anyways, I'm only kidding, but this guy, he's pretty good. He puts up quite a few points, and some would even call him the MVP of this Vancouver Canucks team. But here is the situation. Elias Pettersson becomes an RFA at the end of the season, which means he is due for a new contract. And let me tell you something about this man right here. He's expecting to get his bag, and I doubt he's taking any exception to that, which is a little bit of a problem, because the Vancouver Canucks are not the most financially capable, and that was all thanks to one man and one man only. Man, do I miss him, but anyways, Elias Pettersson has held off on any negotiations until the end of the season because he knows that he's putting up that back-to-back 100 points, which will give him a ton of leverage. But here's the thing, I've seen a lot of people online worried that Pettersson is going to leave and that he's going to sign an offer sheet and become the most hated player in Canucks franchise history. But let me tell you something, you can take your deep breath, your sigh of relief, whatever you want to do. That is not happening. Pettersson is staying with the Canucks. We're not going to lose him. He likes the city, he likes the fans. And if you remember a couple years back when he signed his first extension, he said he'd want to re-sign long-term if the Vancouver Canucks were trending in the right direction. And well, I don't know if you've looked at the standings, it's really no big deal, but we're first in the NHL. If that's not trending in the right direction, then I don't know what is. But yeah, the bottom line is that we are not going to be losing Pettersson this year. He's staying with the Canucks. But I think right now the main topic of discussion is, well, just how much can we expect Pettersson to make next season? I put up a poll on my channel the other day to ask you guys this question of what you guys think Pettersson should be making per year on his next extension, and well, the results were quite interesting. As you can see, 15% of you said that the Vancouver Canucks should pay Pettersson less than $10 million. 51% of you said they should pay him in between $10 and $11 million. 24% said in between 11 and 12, and the remaining 10% said over 12. Shout out to everyone that voted, and I respect all of your opinions on whichever option you chose. But I do have an idea myself of where I feel I would place Pettersson on this spectrum. So without further ado, let's talk about what I think and then move towards the comment section below to discuss there. Starting off with paying Pettersson less than $10 million a year. And yes, I laughed at that because there's just no way. It would have to be some sort of parallel universe where this is the case, because the Pettersson that I know, especially with all the fancy clothing and accessories he's been buying as of late, I'm only kidding, but still, from an unbiased perspective, Pettersson's valuation definitely, in my eyes, is more than $10 million. And to the 15% of you that did choose this option, it would be nice, but let's be real here, we're not in dreamland, so I doubt it'll happen. But with that being said, let's move on now to the second option of paying Pete in between $10 and $11 million. So this is the option that the majority chose, 51% of you, and for good reason too. I'm not surprised that this is the answer that ran away with it, because all things considered, this is probably the range of money that satisfies both parties the best. I'm sure the management would love to sign Pettersson for in between $10 and $11 million. That's an absolute win, all things considered, for a guy that's going to go back-to-back 100 points. And for Pettersson, if he can clock in at just under $11 million, that's still pretty respectable. Now, do I think this is actually going to happen? I would love it to. I think it's fair for both sides, but I don't think we're going to get Pettersson for this cheap. I think that somehow, someway, Pettersson will get himself on the top half of this spectrum here. If I'm being realistic, I do think Pettersson will end up with in between $11 and $12 million. We saw that Nylander signed for 11.5 earlier on this year. That could be a bit of a comparable. Pettersson and him do have similar point totals, and Pettersson is also younger, which is also worth factoring in. To be honest, this would be fair. I'd be okay with Pettersson earning in between $11 and $12 million. It is a lot of money, and it's hard to look at that contract sometimes, but I'd still be okay with it. On the other hand, though, if Pettersson were to receive north of $12 million, that's a bit of a different story. There are only 3 players in the NHL right now that are doing that. They are Matthews, McKinnon, and McDavid. Some pretty elite company, and do I think Pettersson is on that level yet of dominance in the league? I don't think you can justify that just yet. Pettersson does have a couple of lapses in his game. Sometimes when he's on, he's the best player on the ice. He's a playmaker, he can score goals, he's a threat everywhere. He's a good defensive player as well. But sometimes his head isn't fully in it. He gives away the puck, maybe he's a little bit soft on the puck and gets bounced off of it. This is the small difference that separates a player like McKinnon or McDavid from a guy like Pettersson. Until Pettersson can prove that he can bring his A game every single night, like McKinnon and Matthews and McDavid, who are constant threats on the ice, you can't put them in the same category for a contract. And I know Pettersson got 100 points last year, and he's going to get that this year as well. But look at how many points McDavid got. Look at how many goals Matthews got last year. Somewhere in between 11 and 12 is perfectly fair for Pettersson, and he should be satisfied with that. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I appreciate all the support on my recent videos, and I'm excited to show you what I have in store coming up. But that's all from me, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and I'll be sure to catch you in the next one. Peace out, and take care.